Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Your Piece. I'm your host, Ronnie Q, and today we're going to go a little bit more on the lighthearted side. I don't want to get too deep too many times in these videos. I'm pretty sure the last few have been very serious and very thought provoking. I'd like to go into something that I've been thinking about lately. I mean, it's been on my mind lately. And that is we're going to talk about friendships and family. Some of us are just so just enamored and in awe of some of our family members and the family that we had, the family members we've lost, that we look to and cherish and also admire, and that we give all accolades to throughout our lives. And friends that we've had, whether present or past, or past. Um, I think sometimes we don't recognize how meaningful those people are in our lives, and how much they play a pivotal part of our emotional development, our emotional growth, our thought processes. Not saying that they controlled how we live, but they more or less gave us an outlook on how life and its perceptions. Um, a lot of times I think we disconnect from friends as we get older. Maybe because some of our core values may change or our core belief systems may change. And a lot of times they don't mesh with each other like we used to when we were younger. Because remember, the days when we were younger, yeah, there was nothing that we wouldn't do together. We'd be out here doing this, doing that, everywhere, all hours of the night. Did not care, had not a care in the world. Those are those carefree days a lot of us miss as we grow older, because we look at life and one day, we're going, hey, I was just 16 yesterday, or I was just 18 yesterday. And wasn't I just 21 a few weeks ago? We look at it that way. And we don't look at it with regret or with or disdain. We look at it as nostalgia. And I could tell you hundreds and hundreds of stories about, me and my best friends and how we grew up and how my house, when I lived, in Maryland, um, that my house was like the neighborhood house. I mean, my mother would tell people I got 12 sons, and literally those are all 12 of my friends, and you know, it was like a whole big unified family without sharing blood, but we were that cohesive as a unit. And as I noticed that as we get older, and I know we have our lives, we got to live independently, we got to move forward with our lives, we got to do bigger and greater things as we have children, careers, and ideals, ventures, everything else. I know they can't always stay that way. But think about this for a second. Can you name one person that you've known for at least 20, 30 years that you still talk to this day, that you still connect with to this day? A lot of times we find that our friendships fade away so quickly as they came. It's like we peaked in our 16, 18, 21, 25. And after that, the friendship just kind of just went on because, oh, you got married, you had kids, oh, you had a job, you moved here, oh, you moved there. And a lot of times we tend to like, oh man, I wonder, if they're still my friend or if they're still my family. I mean, that's that proximity to each other. I think a lot of times we forget that life evolves in certain ways, and whether the friends or family that choose to evolve with you stay is the most important part. I personally, me as a person, as an individual, I don't change that much. Matter of fact, I haven't changed that much. I'm still the same goofball, crazy person. Except for I don't do all the other stuff I used to do. But I've grown as a person. I've evolved as a person. I've learned a lot more about myself. And I think a lot of times when we get down ladder in the latter years, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get this phone call. Hey, such and such trying to get in touch, or hey, such and such sick, and suddenly all those memories come flashing back, and then we feel bad because we didn't stay connected throughout the years as we got older, and then suddenly the last time you see your friend or that family member, they're at the last footsteps in their life. And They're sitting there, and you no longer recognize that person. You're looking at them like, where did my friend go? Where did my family member go? And then you carry around this regret of not being connected like you were before, and you feel bad, and then suddenly it hits you. Every single emotion that you carried throughout the years of that person being your friend or being that family member you're close to, and then you're like, oh my God, I missed out on so much. Now, here's a truth that nobody can fight. We only make time for those we want to make time for. Let me say that again. We only make time for those who we want to make time for. I understand. You have work, you have family, you have kids, you have responsibilities. I get that. But it takes a few minutes just to call up somebody, just to say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about you, just want to see how you were doing. Catch up for a few minutes, and then after that, hang up, whatever. Y'all don't have to hang out. Y'all don't have to go anywhere. Just stay in the loop with someone, because none of us are promised tomorrow. And I think it's important that we realize in any kind of relationship, make time for people. Make, a necessary, effort for people. At least give something that could possibly be a betterment for the both of you and whoever else is involved. Because one day you're going to blink and there's going to be nobody there. As scary as that sounds, that's a reality. Throughout our lives, I know many of us have lost too many too soon. But you got to think about that. That's something that we don't want. We shed tears for those that we had not been in touch with for years. And then we hurt later on. It's like, dang, I should have been there. And sometimes people may call us unnecessary tears because you weren't there for the last 10 years. Where'd you been? Nobody's seen you in 10, 20 years. Why are you crying now? You wasn't worried about it then. That's just reality of how people are going to react. But I think that we just need to just make a space, man. Especially in this time, right now, in this moment, and how things are going throughout our societal construct right now, throughout, just everything. We have to be ready to at least make a time, a space, a session, anything. I'll challenge y'all to do this. Call up that friend you haven't heard from in 10, 12 years. Call up that person you talked to in 10, 20. Just say hi. I don't want nothing. I just want to say hi. I want to see how you doing. I want to let you know that you're still in my heart. That I still care about you. That I still carry, a memory and a torch for you as far as you being that close friend or that close family or that close someone. If you can do that, then I think life will proceed much more in a positive aspect than it is now. Because I know we're running around here with 50 different things in our minds. So with that said, I'm going to make this short. Just be ready to be cohesive and honest with yourself, that sometimes you just want to be around the people that gave you that feeling, that hope, that laughter, that joyous, that joyous comfort. That. Not just nostalgia, just that right there. Again, this has been Ronnie Q. This has been Speak Your Peace. Peace.